Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to learn about methods of separation in science. Let's start the video. First method of separation is handpicking. This method of handpicking can be used for separating slightly larger sized impurities like the pieces of dirt, stone, and husk from wheat, rice, or pulses. The quantity of such impurities is used not very large. In such situations, we find that handpicking is a convenient method of separating substances. Can all of you see what the man is doing? Yes, he is separating the stones from the wheat, rice, or anything with his hand. This method is called as hand picking. Usually, hand picking process is used to separate stones from wheat, rice, pulses, etc. Okay? The next process of separation is sieving. Sieving allows the fine flour particles to pass through the holes of the sieve while the bigger impurities remain on the sieve. In a flour mill, impurities like husk and stones are removed from wheat before grinding it. Usually, a bag full of wheat is powdered on a slanting sieve. The sieving removes pieces of stone, stalks, and husk that may still remain with wheat after threshing and winnowing. What are remaining on the sieve in wheat? Stones, stalk, and husk particles. Okay, in factories, they use larger slanting sieve like this, in a circle shape or a squared shape. In that, many holes are there to go the flour particles, the pure flour particles to go into it and remain the slightly larger particle on it. The next process is called as sedimentation. Okay? When the heavier component in a mixture settles after water is added to it, the process is called sedimentation. See the define again. When the heavier component in a mixture settles after water is added to the process is called sedimentation. The next is when the water is removed, the process is called decantation. See the define. When the water in bracket along with the dust particles is removed, the process is called decantation. Let us see the example. The example is rice. Okay. So, the same decantation and sedimentation process are also done with liquids. The same principle is used for separating a mixture of two liquids that do not mix each other. This is important. Of two liquids that do not mix each other. For example, oil and water. Oil and water from their mixture cannot be separated by this process. If a mixture of such liquids is allowed to stand for some time, they form two separate layers. They form two separate layers. The component that forms the top layer can then be separated by the process called decantation. Let's see the example, that's oil and water. They can be separated by this process. Example. We all know that filter paper contains smaller pores. If filter paper is one such filter that has very fine pores in it, shows the step involved in using a filter paper. This is the example of a filter paper. You can see this. You can see that this process, anybody is pouring the water in a filter paper which is folded like this. You can see that. First there is a paper with a circle shape. It must be half folded. Then that half folded paper is also made as half folded. Then you should make it as a cone. Then it will make filter paper. You should pour water in it. The sand, muddy or sandy water in it. The sand will remain on the filter paper and the pure water goes into the glass. Okay? The mixture is then poured on the filter paper. Solid particles in the mixture do not pass through it and remain on the filter. The next process, we all heard about evaporation. Have you ever heard about evaporation? Yes. The process of conversion of water into its vapor is called evaporation. We all seen that when mother makes rice, your mother makes rice, then the water becomes a gas. That gas is called as water vapor. The process of evaporation takes place continuously wherever is water present. Where do you think salt comes from? Yes, we all know that salt comes from seawater. Seawater. And we are talking about the process of evaporation. Seawater contains many salt mixed in it. One of these salts is the common salt. When sea water is allowed to stand in shallow pits. Water gets heated by sunlight and slowly turns into water vapor. Through evaporation, in a few days, the water evaporates completely, leaving behind the solid salts. Common salt is then obtained from this mixture of salt by it. You can see now that this is sea, this is sea, then this is separated salt, And here is the salt making process is happening, and on the sea there is happening of evaporation by the sun. Here is the sun, and with the help of the sun the evaporation process is happening. The next process is condensation. The next process name is condensation. Take a metal plate with some ice on it. Hold the paper or plate just above the spout of the kettle as shown in figure 5.13. What do you observe? Let all the water in the kettle boil off. When the steam comes in contact with the metal plate cooled with ice, it condenses and forms liquid water. The water drops that you observed falling from the plate were due to condensation of steam. Let's see the define. Let's see the define. The process of conversion of water vapor into its liquid form is called condensation. Okay? Then here to here was an activity. It's activity. Yes, guys. This is the picture for the example of condensation. This is the example of condensation. Next is saturated. You will need, this is also a type of activity. Let's see the activity. You will need a beaker or a small pan, a spoon, salted and water. Pour half cup of water in the beaker. Add 1 teaspoon of salt and stir it well until the salt dissolves completely. Again add a teaspoon of salt and stir it well. Go on adding salt 1 teaspoon at a time and stir. After adding a few spoons of salt, do you find that some salt remains undissolved and settles at the bottom of the beaker? If this happens, means that no more salt can be dissolved in the amount of water we have taken. The solution is now said to be as saturated. See the definition. This means that no more salt can be dissolved in the amount of water we have taken. The solution is now said to be saturated. This is very important. Here is a hint as to what might have gone wrong when she tried to recover large quantity of salt mixed with sand. Perhaps the quantity of salt was much more than that required to form a saturated solution, the dissolved salt. Now, we can learn about the very It's the very it's the very very important thing. That's filtration. That's filtration. The separation, see the define? The separation of two particles like solid from the liquid or liquid from the solid is called filtration. Here is a important example. Tea leaves are separated from the tree with a strainer. With a strainer. This is tea. So this is the definition of filtration. Let's move ahead. It's the question time, guys. Let's see your question. You should write this in the comment box. Okay, guys? Let's see what the question is. Define the process of threshing and winnowing. You can also mail it and write in the comment box. You can also mail it or write it and send in the comment box. Then also I will see it. So guys, your name will be announced in the other video. Okay guys? Okay. So this today is the day Wednesday. So half of the week is over. I have uploaded a video of SST in the previous class of SST. I have asked you a question. Do you remember that question? Yes. Now I will show you that and its answer also. Answer for the previous question of social science. The question was that what is the meaning of primitive man? The options, do you remember the options? Yes. All remember? 1 minute. Yes, we all remember the options. That was option A, nomadic life, option B, settled life, or option C, urban settled life, or option D. And option D, that was ruler settled life. So the correct answer was option A, guys, nomadic life. So guys, who all have answered the correct answer in the comment box, that option in nomadic life, I will also show you their names in the other video, because now I have not seen I have not collected the names, but I will collect in the next video and I will share it, the social science winner name also with the science winner name. So now I would say tata bye bye to you and also thank you. Bye bye. See you guys in the another video. Till that, signing off from N. Mervin Nagarajan from the YouTube channel Mervin Creates.